Starting tomorrow, it's only a day away, tomorrow, we're going to have the e-safety bill introduced, and it'll be the day that we have to show ID to be able to prove our age to get online. The thing came disguised as the U16, which is the under 16s bill, but it isn't just about the under 16s, because there's talk by Julie Inman Grant and the government that it's going to move over eventually to electric vehicles and other things like smart TVs and even probably our appliances, our smart appliances in our house. We're not going to be able to do anything without providing proof of age, without uploading our digital ID. We are going to be locked out of everything, and when we are online, we're going to be monitored with everything we're doing. We're going down the path of good old China, where people are monitored every step of the way, every single day of their lives. It's a sad situation because I don't think constitutionally what they're doing is legal. I don't think it is. People have a right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and there's got to be something in our constitution, even though Australia doesn't value those things as much as America does. There's got to be something even in our constitution that protects those rights for the individual. It can't be that the government can just jump in without a referendum, without any kind of consultation with the people, and just make up rules. And those rules were not actually made by a government official, they were not even made by a government official, they were made by someone who is an unelected official that was put in there by someone in government or some party in government and given all these powers, and they've gone to her head, and she's now trying to dictate everything that we can and cannot do. It hasn't been thought out. It hasn't been properly evaluated. It's going to be an absolute schmozzle. It's going to be a mess. It's going to cause more problems than it provides solutions. And it's going to cause many, many issues amongst different parts of the community. For example, people with disabilities who are not able to get out and about and had a network of people that they used to communicate with online through social media, through the internet, are now going to be locked out, shut out, unable to communicate with one another because of this ban. And you might say to me, well, they're not. If they upload their digital ID, they'll be able to communicate. No, because if you're under 16 and you're disabled and you had a network that supported you, you won't be able to communicate with that network because they've totally locked you out of social media. This is what is going to happen. And ultimately, a lot of these kids who are not stupid and a lot smarter than some of these individuals that think themselves so smart by doing all this, some of these kids are going to get around all this, and they're going to get around it by moving over to the dark web, which is a lot more dangerous than the internet, the normal internet, the internet that we use every day in our everyday lives, more dangerous than that ever was. They're going to move over to that dark place called the dark web, and it's going to cause all sorts of issues. We need to step back and possibly hold off on this and probably look at it a lot more carefully and start scrutinizing the motives behind Julie Inman Grant's reasons for doing this. I know one of them is that she has a beef with Elon Musk, and if this can affect Elon Musk and his platform X, well, she's on a bit of a winner. But it's going to cause a lot of issues, people, many, many issues. They've been trying for a very long time to take our right to free speech away from us. And they want to stop us from communicating with one another. They want to stop us from being able to criticize and scrutinize the government and anything that they're doing publicly. And they want to take away our ability to interact outside of their jurisdiction. They want to get rid of even independent journalists. You know, people like all the independent journalists that have got channels online. They want to be able to stop us listening to or watching any of those people. They want all points of view that do not agree with the government's narrative or with the globalist narrative to be totally shut down. They don't want them to be able to be heard. So the only thing that we will ultimately have available to us will be the news that play along to the government's narrative and just spread government propaganda. Only what they want us to know, only what they want us to see, only what they want us to hear. And that is no different to Nazi Germany or, communist Russia, communist China. It's exactly the same thing. Our government is a socialist government, socialist/communist. Albo is not a prime minister. He's a fucking dictator. And you show me any place in the world where a socialist government has been in power or a communist government has been in power that has prospered. They've all imploded. All those countries, if they have had one of those systems of government, they have imploded. They have gone back to the Stone Age. Socialists are a funny mob. They will blame everything on capitalism, imperialism, but they like the benefits that those systems offer to them. They like to take advantage of the benefits offered by capitalism, but they want the freebies. They want the government to take care of all the difficult stuff for them. They want the government to be involved in everything. And they like the fact that the socialist system does not allow people to take a step up, take a step forward. They put their foot on the head of anyone who is an innovator, anyone who is a mover, and they trample them back into the ground because they don't like progress. They like to take from the producers and give to the non-producers. They like to take from the productive people of society and give to the useless layabouts who do nothing. Apparently, it's our responsibility to take care of the non-producers. It's our responsibility to take care of the lazy. It's our responsibility to take care of the people who have no intention of doing anything productive for society their entire lives. That's what socialist and communist governments are all about. And everybody stays on the same level. Everybody. There's no progress, no innovation, because there is no reward in a socialist system. You're not being rewarded for being an innovator. You're not being rewarded for being someone who makes progress, who makes positive steps, takes positive steps forward. You're being kept at this one same level. It's a horrible system. I wonder what's going to happen when we go to the doctor. You know, when you go to the doctor and you sit at the doctor's surgery and you're talking to your doctor about what your problem is, and your doctor starts looking online on the internet, doing some research. I've seen them open Google browsers. Um, uh, so what are they going to do? Are they going to have to upload their digital ID as well every time they sit with a client and they have to access the internet? What are people going to do that are running their businesses online through Google? Google Calendars, Google Documents, Google Sheets, Google Maps. People who are using the internet on a daily basis to run their small businesses. People that are doing research. Are they all going to have to go through that rigmarole of having to upload digital IDs every time they want to get on the internet? What about people like me? I have no one under 16 in my house. I have no children in my house, full stop. It's just me and my wife. So are we going to have to upload digital IDs to prove our age? We're both over 50. I'm over 60. So am I going to have to, look at me, am I going to have to prove my age before I get on the internet? Then there's this excuse that they give us. Children have been exposed to pornography and they're trying to protect the children from being exposed to pornography online. Well, guess what? Pornography was around long before the internet. I remember going to school and boys had stick magazines all through their bags, in their lockers. They were all sitting behind the toilets at school looking at them, laughing and smoking. Every boy had a nudie magazine somewhere in his room. They probably still do, many of them. How are you going to police that? It's not online. Bullying. Bullying was happening in the school playground. It was happening at the local park. It was happening down at the swimming pool. It was happening at get-togethers, family get-togethers. Kids are always going to bully one another. Yeah, all right, it happens online. It can happen the same way, just as violently, offline as it does online. The only thing is, no one's going to be posting it. And if it's not being posted, you can't catch the culprits. See, now they're posting their little escapades online. And the minute they post them online, you get to recognize faces in those videos. And that's how the police are hunting down and catching some of these culprits. If your child is beaten up at the local park and there's no witnesses and no one's posted anything online, there's no video or photo evidence, how are you going to catch whoever it was that did it? You're not. But nobody thought of that, did they? Because politicians are dumb, inherently bloody stupid. They don't know what they're doing. They think they do, but they don't. They're dumb as dog shit. All they do is make life more and more difficult for everybody. But it isn't about protecting our children, like I said. It isn't about protecting us. It's about gathering all our information in one place, eventually bringing in a similar system to the one that China has, where you won't be able to breathe, you won't be able to piss, you won't be able to take a shit, you won't be able to have sex without being monitored. And if you do it in a way they don't approve of, they will shut you down and you won't be able to do anything. You won't be able to buy food, buy fuel, book a ticket, travel on public transport, enter a shop. You won't be able to do anything or make a payment. You will be shut out of the system. This madness this madness has to stop. Because China, remember when China introduced a single child policy and it backfired on them? This new system that they have in place is going to backfire on them big time. Remember when Germany went all out with solar panels? Solar panels everywhere. And then they discovered that the solar panels were pumping too much power into their grid and overwhelming the grid, and the grid kept shutting down. So they stopped paying the bonuses they were paying. They stopped paying people to put solar panels on their roofs because people were hiring space off their neighbours to put solar panels up so that they can collect the money. And the system was becoming overwhelmed. It is here too. If I put a solar panels on my roof, and then my neighbour decides to put solar panels on his roof, they have to step down transformers on the street, because as the electricity feeds into the system, it overwhelms the system, it raises the voltage. So they have to step things down. This thing that they've brought in China, this complete authoritarian state that they have in China, is eventually going to implode. It's going to affect China in a bad way. And we're doing it here in the West. It's going to fuck us over too. Big time.